Hey guys, it's Robert from East Coast Sign. Today we're in my father's two-car garage, and we're going to be talking about our winter plow setup here with the 1939 and 1942 era Ford 9N. So a bit of background on the tractor. We had gotten it in the early 2000s, probably around 2002, 2003. Our neighbor up the road, he purchased land. He bought a very beautiful Ford 9N, and we got to use it and really enjoyed using it for like little tasks, dragging trailers. Like for a two-wheel drive tractor, they're very nimble in the woods. So we bought this one. It was in much better shape when we bought it, much nicer paint job on it. And we did a couple things to it over the years. When we got it, it had very bad front tires. It didn't have the tire chains. The drawbar was pretty bent and beat up. It wasn't nearly as nice a machine as the other one. So he ended up selling it, and we kept we traded the tires, the tire chains, and the drawbar off it. And we used it for many years for various things around the yard, a lot of logging up on a mountain, dragging logs out. And in 2017, we really pushed it for logging because we were cutting on our own property, and I just gotten a sawmill. So back then, like all we had was the drawbar and the back blade. So I was logging like that, and a couple of years later I made the logging frame for it, and I think about the next year after is when we put the blade on the front. So I'll give you a little walk around of the winter setup for this tractor. All right, guys, so this is the business end of the tractor. It's a homemade, well, shop-built 3-point hitch, or shop-built 3-point hitch back blade. It's about 6 feet wide, and we converted it to run on the front. So the only things we had to actually do to make this work on the front of the tractor was we put the chains on it, right there, that do the lifting. We added the box section over here just to make it a little easier, and then we made the boom that actually connects it to the tractor, and that's just a piece of 2-inch thick wall. And the way this blade was originally designed, that it used the 2-inch thick wall boom to connect it to the 3 points, so it was no problem at all. So get in a little closer here. So we made this frame around the front of the tractor. It attaches to the front axle with a couple bolts. And that allows that if the back of the tractor is doing something really weird, the front, whatever the wheel plant is the way the blade's going to sit. So we ended up putting a couple bolts in the turntable. Then there's a really big one right in the actual pivot. The point of pivot, or the point of adjustment for pivot. And then after the first or second year, we added this diagonal brace from the boom because of the height here. The blade was rolling backwards as we used it and really beat up the turntable. And then mounted up front is a 3,500 pound Canadian Tire winch. It's a Warren style with the big turn knob on the side of it. We had a 2,000 pound pin style or 2,500 pound pin style. So that's the one where you pull the pin, quarter turn it. And we destroyed it. I mentioned in my previous video that it got badly damaged. So it wasn't suitable for what we were doing. And we've done some other damages. We've ripped the winch tower off and had to do some repair on the front end. So all in all, I mean, it can be hard on the machine, but it works perfect otherwise. And all this gray painted metal and the boom, the winch boom, actually stay on the tractor year round because they don't add anything that's a problem. So I'll go around back and we'll show you the counterweight. All right, guys, so this is the counterweight. It's 3 semi-truck or semi-trailer brake drums. They're bolted together. So the top, I think all 3 of them, 2 are bolted together and then one's bolted to the third, or it's all 3 get bolted together. Can't remember. But we do have multiple bolts down inside. Oh no, all 3 are bolted together, but then the top 2 are bolted separately. And it goes right down to our drawbar. And underneath the winch is the 3rd link. It got damaged and I just haven't replaced it with the original. The original was a turnbuckle. It went missing and then we found it, but this one broke. I just haven't gotten around to replacing it yet, so that's why the hand crank winch is holding it all together. Works really good. It can go up and down. So we'll come around to the front of the tractor here. So from the operator station, you can see the winch control, the winch switch. Oop. And there's the winch wires as they come out of the battery, from down under the battery and back up over the dash. Because we use this setup for logging in the summer as well. So the winch wires are in the console area a little bit. So winch control right here, up and down. And that's pretty much it. The only modifications other than the front bracketry we had to do for the tractor was we beefed up the wiring a little bit. It's only a 12 amp alternator, a factory like 1970 style Chev alternator. So it's only 12 amps. So we beefed up the wiring. We added this second wire here that goes right to the battery. Then the original goes back into the wiring harness. Added an auxiliary ground to the tractor. And then you can see where it all connects. So that's the new direct power wire from the alternator. That's the starter battery wire. That's the positive that comes up to this big fuse. The green one is the original. One of these blacks is the auxiliary ground and the other black is the winch controller. So, and then in the summer we just bolt the controller itself right there. So it works really good. So guys, I hope that's a helpful video for you showing how we do it. Might inspire you to make a winch controller, a winch blade for your tractor. As I mentioned in my previous video, the biggest downside with this is the range of motion. It'll only go up to maybe 1.5 feet off the ground. Check that actually. Yeah, it only comes up like 1.5 feet off the ground, so the problem with that is you can't really mount it, and the tires aren't, like if the top tractor had a much wider tire, you might be able to ramp it. Basically you make a wall, a 20-30 foot long ramp, and push your snow all the way up. But the tires are just way too narrow for that. So we just push it as far as we can, and by the time winter comes, the piles come back out to the driveway. It is what it is. So if you like the video, guys, comment, subscribe. Hit that notification button if you want to see more videos from me. If you have a problem with the video, tell me why. Don't have a problem with the negative reviews, guys. Just let me know. All right. Thanks.